The meeting is called to order.
We'll call the roll. Tony DeVito.
Here.
Larry Holmes.
Here.
Alden Moe.
Here.
Teresa Houski.
Here.
Mary Ernst. Absent.
Absent.
Garrett Lane.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, can we have approval of the minutes?
One moment. I forgot to push the button to record. Can we start one more time? Sorry about that.
Meeting is called to order.
And we'll call the roll. Tony DeVito.
Here.
Larry Holmes.
Here.
Alden Moe.
Here.
Teresa Houski.
Here.
Mary Ernst. Absent. Garrett Lane.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, can we have approval of the minutes from the last meeting?
I move we approve the minutes. Second.
Second by Tony. Do we agree to approve the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Here.
Hi, Mary.
Sorry, just as I left, a truck pulled in to deliver a washer and dryer in Bloxburg. I had a little difficulty, but I got out.
Okay, can we have the staff reports, please?
Good afternoon. Starting off with our staffing, our library is now fully staffed as of January. We have a new custodian, Tammy Vargo. She works cleaning the library 25 hours a week. And in December, we hired a new library aide, Corey Weisfeld, in our circulation department. So we are back to a full staff of 13 employees. In December, Lisa and I gave Brittany Wilson, our youth services librarian, our head of youth services, we gave her Brevard County's Extra Mile Award for all of her hard work making our haunted library program in October such a success. She had over 700 people come in for that program in 2 hours. So we gave her that award, which gives her a little bit of 4 hours time off and just a nice recognition. They had youth services had a successful holiday season. They did crafts and story times. Brittany also did an outreach to the local VFW post in December. They have a lot of fun things planned for the spring, and they are already starting to gear up for summer reading program, which will be June and July. And the summer reading program theme this year is Imagine Your Story, and it's about fairy tales and mythology. On the adult side of the library, we've been very busy. Our head of reference, Tina, has brought a lot of new programming to our library. We have yoga twice a week, watercolor classes, senior fitness, write your memoir classes, card making classes, and something called Japa meditation, and that's on Fridays once a month. Our book club continues on the fourth Friday of each month. In January, we had 4 big programs, which were a cooking demonstration by Chef Warren, music by Michael Morand, fascinating stories from our national parks, and our largest attended program was Cape Canaveral's Rocket History. We had 68 people in that program alone. Comparing to our program attendance last January of 2019 was 137 people total for the month. January of 2020, we had 451 people come just for programs, so quite a big jump.
Very good.
In February and March, we have more music programs, we have tech classes starting, we have an Indian cooking class. In February, we have a Turtle Talk in March, a personal finance seminar, and some other various guest speakers. On to other topics. The staff hosted a potluck luncheon and thanked our friends and volunteers in January. Our Friends group purchased new reading chairs for the library. We have 13 new beautiful chairs. Also, their book sale was last week, February 7th and 8th, and prepared by our friend's treasurer. They have a checking account balance of a little over $17,000. They have 3 CDs that total about $22,000, so their total funds are a little over $39,000. As you know, they spend some of their money on our youth programs and our adult programs, purchase chairs for us, so on and so forth. They just had the successful book sale last week. They had what they called their second best bag sale ever. They made $932 on just the bag sale day. So, and their next sale is a better book sale in the lobby, March 13th and 14th. On other news, the CBAA Art Show is this weekend in our community room. Friday, it runs from 10 to 5, and Saturday, 10 to 4. And they're in there today setting up. It's already taking shape and looking pretty good. We will be here February 18th at 6 p.m. for the city council meeting when the mayor recognizes National Library Lovers Month. And some of our staff, some of our volunteers will also be joining us for that. We are also a voting precinct, just to let you know. Elections setup day is March 16th, and we'll have the presidential preference primary March 17th. And that's our voting precinct. Lastly, we've recently had roof repairs and preventative maintenance and repairs on our automatic doors in the lobby, so the library is in great shape. We are on track to have our new floors installed May 18th through June 1st, and the library will be closed during those 2 weeks. And overall, we're in pretty good shape. And that's all I have for you today.
Thank you, Brenda.
I have a question.
Yes.
The library does an immense amount of community involvement, gets involved with a lot of things and reaches out. And here's just some of the things that you do. This is, I picked this up yesterday in the library.
Yes.
This doesn't show half of your accomplishments. It doesn't contain a lot of the classes that you have. For instance, Tech Corner, which is a way to improve the community and members of the community, very vital. 217, 224. If you look here, I don't see it on the 17th. And yet, it's something you're putting effort into and which is appreciated by the community. So I think that you're underestimating what you do if we look at this.
We're slowly going to be phasing out that colorful calendar because it is not ADA compliant, and we're going to be going to the black and white version, the larger version that you're reading from, that our reference librarian Tina puts together. So it's all going to start coming together on one document pretty soon here.
ADA is American Disabilities Act?
Yes.
Why isn't it compliant? Why isn't this
There's color issues,
Oh, I
there's
see.
font, there's size, there's a variety of reasons. So there's just no way to make that version compliant, so we're going to just a regular Word format.
Well, I congratulate you on what you're doing.
Thank you.
And this doesn't reflect anything. These should not be the official record. This is just some of the stuff you're doing.
The printed document is more what's on the adult side. The colorful version is a lot more, so the parents pick that up because they can read the story time details and things like that. But on the adult side, the printed version, people usually pick that up.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do we have any old business?
I got a couple questions.
Oh, okay.
Do you have internet like broadcast in the library, around the library?
We have Wi-Fi, yes. Yes, you
Wi-Fi?
can come in with your own device and get Wi-Fi. Of course, we have the laptops. Anybody can bring their laptop or tablet in, and we have the public computers, regular PCs
Okay.
for people.
Do you have a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page.
And Instagram page?
No, just Facebook.
Facebook? I've never heard of it. Do you put much content on it?
We do. Danelle also puts stuff on there quite frequently, and our reference librarian Tina, there's usually, if we're having a program, an adult program especially, she will advertise that. Author Danelle makes sure that our book club is put up there, the book that we're reading for that month, and we're pretty active on the Facebook page.
I noticed that there was a guy power washing the sidewalks out there today. Is it something going to be recurring or?
Occasionally, the city is very gracious and they keep all the outside upkeep. They were kind enough to replace the lights and the portico, and they do the outside washing and all the, keeping the landscape up and so forth. So yeah, we're
So
fortunate.
everything is responsible on the outside is the city's?
Yes.
The city's job?
Yes, inside is,
Sidewalks,
yes, mhm.
park, everything around you?
Yes, everything on the
Trees, growth,
outside.
that kind of stuff?
Yes, fountain, flag, yeah, when the flag needs to be raised and lowered, we know
Kinda
the
like
city
a
takes care of
condominium?
it. Sort of, yes.
Something to that effect?
Inside is county, you know, we have repairs, so on and so forth. Inside, it's county. Outside, we're lucky to have the city.
Okay. Just wondering, I was wondering where you stopped and the city began.
Right.
Yeah.
For responsibilities.
Inside, outside.
Okay.
I have a question. Many of the board members are new, especially me, so these are questions that may have been asked in the past, but I don't know about them. I understand that the city has budget meetings once a year in which department heads are invited to come, not invited, it's mandatory, they've got to go and look over the budget and present their iterations, and then eventually it's all approved. Do you attend, does the library invite it to those?
We do not.
We
attend.
do not attend those.
Budget for us
Budgets,
is almost all out of county.
It's always done by the county.
Yeah, we have a small portion that the city gives to the library for a small portion of books.
books and
Book
DVDs, we get a portion from the city.
So the capital expenditures, they're taken care of by the county.
In the library, yes.
The salaries are taken care of by the county. And so you go to an annual meeting on the budget at the county level?
Yes.
We do.
Okay, so what programs that you've asked for have been changed, have been temporarily held off or just rejected by the county?
Do you mean programs like how when we have a chef or music or something like that come in?
Anything like that?
Things like
Or maybe
that.
I'd like to change the color of the bathroom? Anything you need. You might need
Programs.
better lighting, I don't know.
Well, programming, our friends pay for programs like the chef or, you know, music or something like that. If we need new lights or, you know, repairs, something like that in the library, the county pays for that. They come in and, like I had them come in and refurbish our lobby doors because they were in need of some updating. Same with the roof recently. They went up and made some minor repairs and did some refurbishing. That's all county.
And so the staff levels, that's decided by the county?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The staffing levels go by the size of the building. So all the libraries that are considered a level 1, was level 1, 2, and 3, 3 being the largest. This is a 1. So they allow certain types of employees to cover certain areas depending on the actual size of the library, the size of the circulation, and the level of patronage. Those are just some of the criteria.
So when the recreation center that is under review, they may expand it or not, you are doing a lot of recreation for the town. For instance, the after-school program, I can think of. There's other things that you do, all these uplifting programs too. Now, if that recreation facility across the way used to be owned by the city, as far as I know, am I wrong about that, or who owns that?
It's the city.
So okay, so to your credit, you and the county, the city and the county, through you, merge all these efforts, am I right?
Some things, yes.
So if they wanted to shift the after-school program from the library to the county responsibility, would you care?
We don't currently have an after-school program that we let the city come in and do at our library, but there has been talk that in the future we will be hosting some of the after-school programs when they're redoing that building. for
Right.
the youth.
I've
So
heard
we
that,
have,
but I-
yeah, we've talked, it hasn't happened yet, it's on the horizon, that they'll come in, and that'll be Tuesdays through Fridays when that does happen.
And so the financial arrangements, we touched on it at that last meeting, it's just a gentleman's agreement. They have to basically clean up after they use these facilities.
Yes.
And what's your experience with the last time they used it? Were they reliable? Did they do a good job?
Yes,
They're not endangering the library or
Not at all.
making it harder?
Not at all. They clean up, they abide by whatever rules that we ask.
All right, I appreciate that, thank you.
May I make a comment? I think it's wise for us, members of this group, to attend county library board meetings once in a while.
Yeah, I attend the budget meetings, that's why I asked this
Just,
question.
I had the library advisory board at my library just a few weeks ago,
yeah.
so we do let the other leadership know, so I let her know. If you're interested in that, now that she's aware that you would want to do that next one,
Yeah.
to let you know. I think you host one this year too?
I think I host either in September or November. Cape Canaveral will host the county.
That's the
Well,
county
that-
library advisory board meeting, and they go to a different location each month. So, last year, we weren't picked to do it, so this year we both picked. And usually there's pretty good snacks, so you probably want to come.
Well, but that's, now, I think we should attend too, just for our own education and to reach out. But you're the spokesperson for this library. I don't think we are. Plus, you know the needs, so when is the next meeting? So maybe you can tell us now, so we calendar it.
I don't have it with me.
Or otherwise you'll have to reach out to us and it's more difficult
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah.
So how do we do it easily?
I can send you the whole year. It's every month, it's at a different location, because there's 17 libraries in Brevard County, so every month is at a different location. Like Lisa said, last month it was at Cocoa Beach. I'm not sure what branch it's in this month, but I can send you all that list. It's date, time, and location.
I went to a sheriff's breakfast this week, and part of the briefing was the growth of the county. It's really kind of phenomenal, around 900 a week. And, a lot of, or maybe I'm sorry, I might have that wrong, maybe 900 a week for the state, but a lot of them are moving into the Central Florida area, and of course, the demands for the culture and all the programs will go up. When you submit the budget, do they have any growth dollars in there for you? I mean, do they say 3% a year, you need more than that? Just alone for the salaries, for instance, I'm sure you
They
did.
submitted in the beginning, before the end of the previous fiscal year, and then there's a biannual review, and sometimes it'll get adjusted per that, what's going on with the county monies.
Well, what triggered all this budget stuff was the generosity of the city in taking care of the outside is very nice. But the county is riding on the generosity of the city. They should be handling some of
They
that
don't own the
too.
property.
I know, it's a private library in effect, really.
They don't own the property. All the libraries have different situations. Like Cocoa Beach, we own the property, so every, parking lot, bumper, tree, bush, shrub, everything, all the painting, the lines and stuff, we do everything. So I'm really.
We as the county?
When
When you say we, you mean the county or library?
Yes, it's the county, it's actually the county itself. And so, yes, we pay for all the vendors and whatnot to do the work outside. So Melbourne Library and Fee Avenue, the city does the outside of that library too.
I see.
They're all different. Depends on the agreement.
Do you ever have issues with, this is a county library, but this is a city enacted board that
Not so
advises
far.
you? I never even thought about that before. Why is the city advising you on how to do a county library?
They really haven't, actually. Mostly it's an information sharing session like we normally have.
Okay.
And, you know, sometimes there's issues because there's a misunderstanding or a miscommunication. So really, this is a good opportunity to communicate any kind of, sometimes just far-reaching ideas. And we work, well, to me, I think this is nice because we have more contact with the city than we do in Cocoa Beach. I work with Cocoa Beach City at times, but not as much as we get to work with the city in this library.
Okay.
It's a much more intimate relationship.
Well, that's good praise for the city council, too. The other thing that triggered these questions was these wonderful volunteers that are providing capital improvements in the form of furniture. Now, that should really be done at the county level, am I right?
They're doing
All
it.
different.
They're just doing it as a courtesy out of their generosity. We have some very loyal volunteers and they put on our book sales and, you know, make money that way. And they're just kind and they want to see our programs succeed. And so they pay for the programs. They want to have, you know, our patrons to have new chairs. They're just, it's out of their kindness and their decisions that they occasionally provide these things.
So the dollars that these volunteers save the county, because the furniture is the county's capital responsibility, they can apply that countywide and not to this place.
No.
No, it's only,
Those-
each library has their own friends group, and that friends group can decide what they would like to spend their money on in that library.
Are there any plans by the county to build more libraries?
Not at this time.
But what also the Friends do, when something comes up, it needs to be rectified immediately and it causes an expense, they're able to jump in and help more fluidly and get that rectified. And sometimes it's furniture, sometimes it's, you know, it's a set of books, sometimes it's.
A vacuum.
It's all, like that, yeah, like a
We
vacuum.
need a vacuum, and all I had to do was ask, are you interested at all in helping us get a vacuum? And right away, yes. Look it up, find a price, tell me what you need.
Now, those certificates of appreciation that you gave, I forget which one you gave.
To Brittany Wilson, our youth services librarian.
That's a county appreciation.
Yes.
I see, okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure somebody else has some question.
Questions?
I have a comment for Mr. Lane. There are 900 people a day moving into Florida.
That's right, that's right. He said that's exactly right. So Central Florida is a designated, apparently, a designated destination for the tragic victims of these hurricanes and earthquakes in Puerto Rico. So it's getting more and more people in here, and the people are in need, as well as our own little town people. I mean, these housing down here, I mean, there's a lot of people in need. Housing is not cheap here anymore. I don't know how they're doing it, but bless them for their efforts. And the library is an oasis. Thanks to you.
May I say that one of the things that when a company is looking at something and saying, maybe we'll move our people in, they look at the schools and the libraries and facilities like that, but the library is very important in that.
Right. Let me ask you something else, if nobody else has a question. Fundraising is being done on a voluntary basis by these wonderful volunteers who are under-recognized.
Friends of the Library.
Friends of the library, right. And yet the library is surrounded by extremely wealthy corporations. Now, when I worked both for private and for the government, they were looking to grant working funds, but somebody's got to approach them with a letter. And so what happened is when we saw some of this coming in, it's pre-prepared, and you could change the various names, but it's always, the contents are, Dear X Corporation, or Dear Government Facility, we are in need of bucks for the following. And do we have, is there a committee, or maybe we should work on preparing a letter? It can be cookie cutters, you're ready to bake. No, that's all right.
Doing that.
And then send it out to every area, every tax-paying corporation in the area. They're
Really?
looking to spread the money out.
Mary is an active member of the Friends of the Library. Why don't you answer?
All right.
No,
then you-
listen, they work hard. I have backed off with a lot of things for many reasons, but I will always be on the board till October. But let me say that I would like to suggest that you and Al get together and come up with this letter, and I'll be happy to carry it around if you'd like. But, there used to be a ruling, and I don't know if it's still true, that if you did business at the Space Center, you had to be within so many miles of the Space Center. So there are a lot of companies kind of tucked in little strip malls and things. And, we need to find them. So why don't you two get together and write a letter? And, if you want it hand carried, I'm sure you would do it, I will do it, Al would do it. I
Well,
can't see
that's
those
all-
people
that's
down
all
there,
well.
but they'll do it.
That's all well, but here's the other side of the equation. The money flows in, and it addressed, where does the check go to? To this young lady? To the county? To the Friends of the Library?
Goes to the
When we
Friends.
get money, we try to get it into, I think I'm right, doesn't it go into the Friends of the Library?
Yes.
And then we
Yes.
disperse it as needed. Now, that's the purpose of the Friends really here, is to pay for what the county or the city won't. And you have a problem.
Either of you two can
with
correct me if I'm
chairs,
wrong, but-
they'll come from the county.
Well, both of you are talking, so.
Yeah.
We'll defer to you for a minute until you're finished, and then ladies
Well, I'm
first.
finished. I just want you to know that they work very hard.
the
They
friend-
control the money.
So you're not finished, so go ahead, continue.
The library has the county and city money. However, there are things they won't buy. And so the Friends take care of this.
The goal of the respective, the 17 different, I think every library in the county, I believe, has a Friends group affiliated with it. And their goal is to help that particular library. And often, when you have special occasions, as we did here a couple of years ago with a library activity in the park, can't remember, it was associated with Founder's Day, I believe. The Friends actually went out and solicited money and help. As a matter of fact, we had a number of local merchants who helped financially in that particular effort. And the VFW, for example, helps the summer reading program year after year after year, I believe, for the last few years with a $1,000 contribution.
I believe it was 2,000. I believe there was a
Okay,
2,000 or
and-
$2,500 donation this past.
We, as members of the Friends of the Library, or as members of this committee, are very grateful. It's very good.
Well, why don't we form a committee of the whole?
I don't think it should be done as a part of this group. I want to make that clear.
What was that?
It shouldn't be a part of this group.
I agree with it. If you want to I think forming a committee of the whole to consider the idea,
Well, are you a member of the Friends of the Library?
I am not. Oh, yes, I am. I put,
Give me
yes, my
$5.
$5, no, I get my $5. In fact, I have my
Okay, you're
card.
a member.
I'll show you my card. So where will we meet?
In the library.
Sure.
You
that's
do have to be
exactly right.
mindful
Absolutely.
of sunshine
The library.
law.
And so when will we meet?
Sir, you do have to be mindful of sunshine law, so that means that this group can at no time meet up and discuss anything
Right.
that you would potentially be taking a motion on.
That's correct. So how do we proceed?
I would just get out there and volunteer.
Well,
I tell you how.
I think it's going to be me volunteering,
We can have a Friends meeting anytime you like.
but you can't have it because a committee member is on, and I cannot discuss things with you privately. I can't even call you up on the phone and say, how are you?
Well, actually,
I can't.
The Friends
I
group,
don't think
if you
we
guys
have to-
would like, the Friends group
Remember,
can
the
have a
Friends
public meeting
has-
here in chambers.
You can have a public meeting, all
We
right.
could arrange for a public meeting, we can publish it.
Sure.
And promote it, as we do with all other meetings, have it posted legally, and you can have it as a workshop session that'll be streamed live.
Well, that's exactly right. So who's going to come? Just to take it as a show of hands. Who's really interested in this? I am.
Well, yeah.
I already am here with the Friends every Wednesday, and I help with every book sale we have. Brenda knows. I've been here, and what I see, there are maybe 2 or 3 people here. Jean basically does a lot, Jean and Evelyn do a lot of the work.
Yeah, right.
And the rest of us show up when they need us. So it's always, it was always told to me, I always understood from the person that was our liaison before. But anyway, I always understood that as a board member, I'm technically not supposed to raise funds, but I can volunteer
Is that right?
as a friend.
Do we have a ruling?
But
for it?
I'm a friend in that sense, but then here, I'm not allowed to solicit.
Oh, then, yeah, then that's a good, if that's the legal, if there's a statute on that, then we can't.
And also, just as an aside, our youth services librarian, Brittany, does have something like you were referring to. She kind of has a form letter, and when she's nearing summer programs or needs donations, like for her haunted house, she sends that out to Publix and a few other places, and they have generously given candy and drinks, and it's not on a huge scale, but it is something that we do, that she does, to solicit some donations for the library.
And current members, by the way, sorry, did you want? Current members, by the way, come and go. I mean, you can say you're a current member because you pay your $5, but the list, it's supposed to be a $5 fee every year. You're supposed to renew it. We get a lot of renewal when we have a major book sale that if you're a friend, you get to preview it. So you pay the $5, and that's where we make a lot of the $5 things. But I talk to many people, my neighbors, et cetera, that say they're friends, and I never see them here at the library. That because you're a friend doesn't mean you're here actually doing the work. And somebody like Jean and Evelyn, who do most of the work, that's the only time they have. I mean, they don't have time to go fundraising and things like that, develop letters and keep lists and keep things updated. They do not have that time. Jean is here probably 4 or 5 days a week. I know she's here at least 4. Correct, Linda?
Yes, correct. She's there most days.
And she does a lot of work for the library that you won't even see as far as fundraising, like
It's behind the scenes.
behind the scenes where you don't even see. I am mostly a gopher for Jean. And, I mean, lately she's given me a little more responsibility. I'm allowed to look up books on Amazon now. But we just do what she tells us to do. But she does not have the time to develop a list, or none of us do, because we're busy doing behind-scenes work. You just don't see it.
The issue I see with this Friends group is they never have an actual meeting on their own.
Right.
Where they discuss and divvy up, and has there been a membership drive? If you've got a table out and sat in front of the door and solicited new members to get fresh blood who's gonna not do tech processing in the back room. That's not really a Friends role so much. That's the role that certain people have taken, and that's fine. The Friends role is to really, really, champion the library, get interest along with us, and raise money. And that's what it's supposed to really be. The fact that there's a comfort zone in the back room to do certain things, that's great, and we really appreciate the work. It's just there needs to be more organization with the people who are showing up, to have more of a friendship, a friends meeting, specifically just for friends, an actual membership drive, to get new blood in and talk to them, because what's weird is we do get a little bit of that up there, not as much as, everybody wants to see 20 new people and 20 new hands. That's not gonna happen. Mm-hmm. That will not happen. You might get 2 or 3, but you have to be there to do that. You can't have 2 or 3 people that are in the back helping out, but there's really that's no public-facing exposure, really. And so that's my advice, that's what I see that actually works. And every town's different, so what works with one town, even though the towns are not that much different, they are different, they're very different. But I would say, I would specifically break away and do your own friends thing and be public-facing more, because that's why people don't know what's going on, because they don't, that's what the problem is. There's, I've been doing this, I've been doing this for years, this is the way it's gonna be done, and that's fine that just is being done that way. But there's a million other aspects that aren't even being looked at since I've been around, much at all. And you can't have memberships without a drive, you can't have exposure without being out there. You have to be out there, so maybe that'll work for you guys, maybe not, but I think it's a shot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any further questions? Okay, then, let's move on, I guess, to the new business. Old business. I think we're ready to call our interviewee. Okay. All right. It's my pleasure to introduce Nancy Gentlecore, who is with us today. Nancy, hello. Nancy has volunteered to serve as a board member with our Cape Canaveral Library. So, welcome, Nancy. And can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and why you want to join us?
Yes, I went to Florida in 1977 in Canaveral, and a few years later we did move to Merritt Island, and in '98 I moved back again. So I'm a resident of this area, immediate area, over 40 years. I worked at the Space Center for 35 years. It was in project management, environmental and propellant. And I retired in 2013, and my first place to volunteer was the library, but they didn't need anybody. So I went to Cape Canaveral, and I've been working in the gift shop there. And I was at a candidates meeting that the library held, which was wonderful, and somebody mentioned that they were looking for people on the advisory boards. And I thought, I have time to give back. I'm in the Cape Canaveral Library, well, at Merritt Island and Cocoa Beach at a minimum of 3 times a week. I'm an avid reader. And it's wonderful. It's free. They get me anything I want online, so I really use the facilities. When I put an application in to be on the advisory boards, the Planning and Zoning Board contacted me right away, probably because of my experience. And I said yes, and I'm going to be interviewed, I think, next week. But then the library called me, and I thought, I'd love to do that. I tried to do some research online and, see what it would involve. I haven't found a great deal, but this meeting was very interesting. I learned quite a bit.
Well, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Nancy?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry, I probably missed it. Are you a resident of Cape Canaveral?
Yes, ma'am. Are you a friend?
That was my only question.
Actually, I am a friend, and that's what I found so interesting. I'm in there, and I realized, I haven't given them my $5 in a while, and that's the extent of what I've done. So periodically, I turn in my $5, but I've never really been involved.
Good idea, get involved.
Any others?
I have a question. How long ago did you work for this, what do we call it, the Space Authority or the Space Center? What's
I
the
was a
official
contractor
title?
out there for 35 years.
And when did you leave?
2013, I retired.
2014?
13.
13. You have contact with the management of the Kennedy, or whatever they call it now, the Space Center?
Well, I was not with NASA, so I was on 5 contracts in my period out there. And they have changed so dramatically. It's amazing, because after 35 years, if I went back there now, I would not have a clue what was going on. The whole structure has changed, the contracts have changed. I know some people from the old days, but no, I wouldn't have a contact.
I'm thinking money.
I knew where we were going, yeah, and it wouldn't work that way.
All right, thank you.
Any others? Can we, well, we have to, what we have to do here is vote to recommend, because the city council actually will appoint, it has a job of appointing our recommendation, okay, if so, And so what we need to do is have a motion to recommend that Nancy be recommended.
I'll make the motion.
I move that our candidate be recommended to the city council to become a member of this committee.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Okay,
All opposed? You have to ask that. No, okay.
okay. Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks.
And thank you, everybody, staff and everybody from the library, and any public members that we have here.
So the budget meeting at the for the county level, when's the next meeting?
I don't.
You'll contact us, so you're going to send us an email.
We actually meet with the library services accountant. We don't go to the county board meeting.
Okay.
They are publicized by the county. You're more than welcome to go to them or listen to them live online, and they're recorded.
So I'll get the information how? Or is it on some site that I can go to? You'll send it to me? I
I
thank.
can send you the printout of every month, every location for the
Yeah.
library board meetings.
Yeah,
I'll
just
send
for
it to
this
you.
local, the library board meetings for this location, for the Cape Canaveral, since you're hosting it occasionally.
Okay, that's this fall.
Right,
You want
so, all right, that's
yes,
good.
I can give you the date and time.
I'll go.
For that.
All right. And then the other thing that's unfinished business is who's going to attend this coming Wednesday's Celebration of Library Month? Are all the board members
Tuesday.
attending or not?
I'm not, because I don't like to.
Let's have a show of hands then. And the chairwoman will, maybe you want to take a motion on that? Who's not going to?
There's no need for a motion
All right,
on
then who's going to
that.
show up? Just so I know, how else am I going to find out? Is anybody going to be there at the city council meeting at 6 o'clock next Wednesday?
Tuesday.
That's even better, so,
Oh, I will be there. I was I was asked to be there. Many of the volunteers, I think, I will be there. It's Tuesday,
Yes.
right?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock here, right? I will be there.
I'll be there.
I will not be able to go to that.
So we have 2 so far. Is that right? Anybody else?
I've already informed
Sir, can you
somebody
speak
that
into
I
your
will not be there.
microphone?
I sent an email and I'll be there.
Okay. Very good.
Can we have a movement? Do we have any more questions? Can we have a movement to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.